Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm creating a Happy Meal card using the Cuteness Overload from my favorite things. And this card color combination was inspired by the Pantone's Colors of the Year, which is a gray and yellow. This year I know that my gray and yellow is a different kind, but I was inspired by it. I already saw a lot of crafters use this combination and I thought it was genius. And then I read some of the blog posts and Instagram posts and all, and I discovered that there was this Pantones of the Year colors. So that's what I'm doing today, and I really love actually how much it's different from each other, so there is a lot of contrast and I really like that. So for my image I decided to use the grays, and then for my background I will use yellows. So I had to decide upon this image to really vary. I prefer using all warm grays or all cold grays together. So I decided to do the bear darker because that is a larger image, and then having a lighter gray bunny. So I'm doing some Copic coloring. The paper that I'm using is Transotype perfect coloring paper, and I stamped this image out using Gina K Designs Amalgam ink. I love this black ink. It's an ink that you can use for Copic coloring but also for watercoloring, so you never stamp your images out with the wrong ink if you have one of these inks, which is really handy for me personally. I used to have Memento and Fine, and I was always wrong. So trying to avoid that using an ink that is hybrid, that is good for anything. So that's why I'm using this one. And then to get the depth and the blending that I want, I need at least 2 layers. If needed, I can add a third one, a fourth one, however much I need to add layers until I'm happy with the blend. I'm just making sure to go back and forth. I prefer going from darkest to lightest and go back over it, but whatever way of copy coloring you prefer is the right way if you like the end result and if you have a lot of fun. So the bunny is going lighter, as I said, and then I also had to do the tummy and the mouth of the bear, but I really wanted to know first how light the bunny was going to be so that there would be enough of a difference in color. In the end I ended up quite light with the belly and the mouth of the bear, quite similar actually as well as to the bunny, but I don't mind. I don't mind at all. So the nose of the bear, you can decide doing that in grays or even the pink ones, but I really like the size of the nose, but it's a bit too big, I thought, with all the grays to do it in pink, so that's why I used just a dark combination to add it a bit of color. And for this card, this is the only image that I'm going to use. Also, this is an image from Rochelle Anna Miller, so you have it in clear at my favorite things. But if you prefer digital, then you can definitely go to Rochelle Anna Miller herself, her site. There you can find some digital stamps. Also really lovely because you can choose the size of the image, so you can enlarge it or make it even smaller if you want to. I'm using the matching dies to cut this one out, and I'm just making sure to keep it in place by using some purple tape, and then it's time to start on my background. Now for the background, I'm combining these two stencils. The one from my favorite things is called the Rectangle Extraordinaire Stencil, and the one from Clearly Besotted is the Basic Stripes 2 Stencil. So I'm keeping this stencil in place using some purple tape on the back of my A2 size panel. And then I'm adding the Extraordinaire stencil on top of it, also going to keep it in place with some purple tape. So I tried to eyeball this and hear it, and then I took my T-square ruler to sort of check whether it was spaced out correctly, sort of centered. And the eyeballing worked this time, so I was really happy. Otherwise, just start over. And then I made sure to secure the stencils once more. As you saw in the beginning, and as I said, I'm going to use yellows on the background. Now you know me, I prefer distress inks whenever I can use them. So today I'm using the Squeezed Lemonade, Mustard Seed and Wild Honey. And I'm just going to blend. I first thought of having the darkest color on the top. When this background was finished, I ended up turning it around. I thought that it worked better. I don't know what you think. But originally, I was going to have it like this, having the wild honey on the top. So I have this extra piece of paper to tap off the excess ink. But in the end, I ended up going quite heavily on top of this background, so I didn't need it all the way. Just working my way down, and then I will have this lovely striped background with a white border all around. I really love it when I can reveal the masking or like stencils, getting rid of it and just seeing the actual end result, because sometimes it might be difficult to see how it's turning out. Making sure to remove all the purple tape, and then I tried it out and I just thought maybe, just maybe, I should turn it around. So I turned it around, and now I'm going to use one of the sentiments from the Spring Wreath. This stem set I haven't used so far. I love the Wreath. I have some sort of an idea in my head, but working it out, well, well, I have several card ideas and I have several new stem sets that I still need to use. I think it's a general problem in our hobby kind of industry thing. So I actually never end up creating the idea that I have in my head with the wreath, but I'm already glad that I'm using one of these amazing sentiments that is inside of this stem set. I love it. There is also winter wreath, and the sentiments over there are also fabulous. I love the script. I love that thinking is bigger here, and then of you is smaller, but it's still there because it's not tiny. So I use it. I'm happy already. Adding the image using some thin foam squares, and then there was just one area where the blending wasn't as good as I wanted it to, so I just went over it again with my markers to sort of fix that. It made this bear a bit darker than originally. Of course, there is an extra layer, but I don't mind actually. To be sure that, well, the eye on the right, so the left eye of the bear was visible, I decided to add a bit of black glaze pen to make it pop a bit more out of the darker gray area. And then I decided to add some embellishments. The embellishments today are these Droplets crystal clear hearts from Little Things from Lucy's Cards. I love it. I love the sizes. And I'm just going to add it using some liquid glue. And then I'm using my embellishment wand from Studio Katja to get everything in place. And then I can add this panel on top of my card base. Now I did that using some Pritt adhesive roller. And then to finish off this card, I decided to add some glossy accents. The final thing that I was going to add to the two noses, one tiny itty bitty thingy on the one of the bunny, and then filling in the bigger nose of the bear. And once that was done, this card is completely finished. I truly hope that you enjoyed this video, and of course also the end result. I'm really curious as well whether you already used this combination and if you like it as much as I do. So leave that down in the comments. If you like this video, you can always give it a thumbs up. and I will be back soon with some new crafty inspiration. Have a fabulous day. Bye!